Hey guys, it's Sam, and welcome back to Likewise Pod. Today is a solo episode, mini-sode, if you will, with just me. Issa and I have some very fun stuff going on this weekend that we've been talking about on the pod for a couple weeks. We're going to be in Arizona together with author H.K. Green. It's going to be so fun. But because we're doing that and we have travel days and things, we just weren't able to figure out some good logistics for us to record today's episode together. So I'm doing a mini today, and then next week you'll get a mini from Issa because next week we also can't record together because we are recording together. Like we are getting ahead and we are recording some content for Week of Love in February. If you didn't know, we are doing Week of Love again. So super stoked for that. We have some really amazing author friends of ours coming on, but we are doing some pre-recording for that. So we also just can't record an episode for next week. And so we just kind of baked minis into the schedule. And we kind of realized, we were talking about this last week. It's so funny. If you've been following us for a while, you would know that we've been doing themes for mo most of the months last year. We would pick a monthly theme and we would post the whole month schedule on the first of the month. We post the theme and what all episodes were coming. And we are definitely going to continue that. We just never did that for January for this year. So, um, but I think our content was still very themed in the sense of like we're debuting season 6. We're in that very like rejuvenated, refreshed, like new year energy kind of. But one thing we also did not do this year was rebrand, um, which is so wild because we've rebranded almost every season, and last year we made a huge deal out of rebranding for the first of the year. And but honestly, I think that speaks to like the success of the rebrand is that we love it so much that we're keeping it for another season. Because I mean, like you're not meant to change your branding like every single year. If you think about like brands and things and brand recognition and all these like classic brands like Nike and Coca-Cola and all these things, like they are not rebranding every single season or every single year, which obviously like a podcast is different from those brands, but um I think so, like sometimes it's important to like really just like stay grounded in your branding and keep it as yours and really use that as like a tool to help build your brand. So enough about that for me. That's not what I'm supposed to be talking about. Um, but like sometimes it's fun to just come on and spill all the random thoughts I've been having since the new year. And um, since it is like my first one-on-one solo time, I can kind of just like brain dump, say whatever. Um, and I'm excited to just sit back and I don't want to say relax because I feel like when I record my minis, I record like the video of it and then I never can use it for like a reel or anything because I get nervous that my mic isn't picking me up good enough. So I end up like hunching over my desk and talking right into my mic and the only thing in the video is my forehead. So working on that right now. Um, but so yeah, I'm usually not relaxed. I'm usually sitting very uncomfortably. But hopefully that won't be the case today. But as you can tell by the title of this episode, I feel like I'm almost going back to our September theme, which was what dreams are made of and all about dreams and life and all those things. But I feel like that really resonates with the a new year and being very refreshed and like kind of having a reset and kind of setting intentions for the year is such a popular topic. And so I was just thinking about dreams again, because I am a dreamer. That is also my Adobe Creative Type personality test. I'm a dreamer. But I just had this thought echoing in my head all day today and a little bit just earlier on this week that it's time to start dreaming out loud. And like 2025 is the year that I want to be vocal. It's a year that I want to like express what I want and really get in touch with myself and like figure out like what are my dreams, what are my goals, and like be loud and open about them and communicate them because I am a bottler of all things, feelings, everything. And with that comes like just keeping these dreams and goals and things inside, and they just become something I ruminate on and fester over and never do anything for. So, um, I just think that's a really good intention to set for the new year, and I figured I would talk about that today in case anybody else is a dreamer. It's funny that my type is the dreamer, but I keep my dreams so to myself and bottle them up like that. I think that's such an odd thing to happen in my personality, considering that's supposed to be like a strength of mine, how I approach things and work as a team. I think that does still come out, but in a very like hypothetical way or a very like what if, and I have crazy ideas, that things that are very futuristic, and I love to dream and be positive and all these things, but then like when it comes to my actual like deep down feeling dreams, I'm like no thanks. um so yeah, I wish there was like a word for that. And I'm sure there is. But yes, all my secret dreamers out there, I hope maybe we can unpack why we do that and figure out how we can overcome that. And I hope that me just talking about it makes me feel accountable in needing to do this year. Like I'm setting the intention right now that I'm going to be vocal about my dreams. So, um, I'm if I'm not, then I'm just gonna need my friends to be asking me like, "Hey girl, you said you were gonna be vocal about your dreams. Mm, care to share with class?" Um, so yeah, yay. Let's get into it. Yeah, like I said, like visions, goals, dreams, they're just so popular and relevant at the beginning of a new year. You've got New Year's resolutions, you've got mood boards and vision boards, and just people wanting that fresh start and the reset for their new year. And I feel like this year, especially, I've seen so much more in terms of posts about doing this and really being intentional going into the new year and manifesting and making vision boards. I just feel like I saw so much more this year than I usually do. Um, which is cool because I've always been really into like making a vision board for the year and doing all those things, and it's I just feel like it was trending a lot more this year than usual, and maybe that's because people are moving away from resolutions more. Like you see a lot more people starting like 75 hard with the new year and that kind of stuff instead. Um, which is very similar to like a resolution, but I think maybe people are finding ways to kind of change that narrative for themselves. But yeah, I've been really stuck thinking about how all my stuff is locked down, how I keep it so private, and trying to figure out why that is. And here's what I've boiled it down to. I think maybe it's out of fear. Like maybe I think that if I vocalize my dreams, that then there's an expectation that I'm working on it, or now that other people know I want to do that thing, it adds this pressure of I just would constantly think someone is watching. Like they know that I want to do this, so now they're watching. They're waiting for me to do what I said I wanted to do. So if I speak that into existence, I'm like, yeah, like this is my long-term goal plan. This is what I want to do. This is my dream. And then I'm not actively working towards that dream. There's this thing like, was that person gonna like judge me for that? Or are they gonna ask me about it in the future if I tell them about it now, and I'm gonna feel like embarrassed that I don't have any progress on that thing? Um, which those are kind of silly fears to have, and honestly, that doesn't usually cross my mind at all when I'm like, I don't think I actively try to like not tell people about my dreams and things. I think a lot of times it's maybe also some just doubt, like not knowing how much this is a real dream versus something I think is cool or something I see other people doing, and like I just romanticize it because I see how other people live out that dream. and how amazing it is for them. So then I'm like, maybe that should be my dream, you know, like almost kind of co-opting that. Um, so I don't really know exactly where it comes from. Maybe it's all of those things. Maybe it's a mixture. I think for a lot of people, it is the fear thing of like, I don't want people to know I want to do this because then they're going to be watching and waiting around for me to do it. And if I'm not doing it, that's embarrassing. I think that is probably the biggest reason for most people. Um, or the other thing, just being indecisive, not knowing like what is the dream, and it maybe it's unclear, or I find myself thinking of like the fig tree um a lot, and just kind of having like there are so many different paths and avenues that I have considered dreams and things I want to pursue and do, and there's only room for so many, or you can only fully dive into one thing, or you can spread yourself thin across all the things and not really excel in any of them, you know? So it's hard to like narrow down what you want your path to be and like what is the dream. And so sometimes, I mean, I feel like I go back and forth between all the different things that I have on my big tree or whatnot. And I think then the pressure of like feeling like you have to pick between things gets really hard. And so sometimes it's easier to just not. Like if you're that indecisive, sometimes it's easier to just escape having to make the decision at all. Um, but that's also like just because it's easier doesn't mean it's right for you or that you will feel any better about it. A realization that has to set in is that your dreams are never going to come true, or you won't be able to do most of the things you're dreaming about without other people knowing about them. Especially if that dream is something that requires you to like market your art or your work, or if this specific dream requires you to uproot your life and like live somewhere else, or change careers, or if you're like a student changing a major, even if you're and you don't want to do that because it would be hard because maybe you're already a junior or a senior and you don't want to then like uproot everything and have to stay in school longer or do all this stuff, spend more money, all the things. Um, but I think it is hard to realize and accept that, yeah, actually, I'm never going to achieve this thing without somebody else knowing about it. Or like eventually someone's gonna have to know, and I'm gonna have to be open about this if I want to have support getting through this thing, because making life changes is always hard. So if your dream requires you to change your life, like you need to be vocal about it eventually at some point when you are ready to pursue your dream. Because if you don't, you can't pursue the dream if you just keep it to yourself. So it's almost in a way like keeping dreams a secret is like a safety net. It's you retreating deeper into the walls of your comfort zone, and it's not making the changes that your mind and body are aching to make, like begging you to do. Like there's a reason you dream for something. I remember seeing that once. It's like your your want for a dream comes from a future you that's already there. Like there's a reason you have this dream because you are meant to do it. Um, and so your mind and your body just know, and they want you to do it and get there. So staying in that little comfort bubble of playing it safe is very hurtful. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep anything private. Like there are definitely things in dreams you can keep private, especially if it's something where you're like, this is genuinely like a random silly thing that I've always thought was cool and I'm never going to actually pursue it. Um, sure, keep that to yourself if you want. I have seen a lot of people say to not post your vision boards and whatnot because they think it interferes with the manifestation if you're like publicly putting it out there for everyone to see. Um, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I mean, you do you. do what makes you happy. Um, and from what I see, I feel like the more you share and like including other people only increases the accountability um in helping you stay in that mindset of like I'm gonna achieve these things because other people are seeing you say I'm going to achieve these things. And it also helps other people who might have the same goals and dreams as you feel seen. And like let's be for real, how much easier is going after a dream when you have somebody going through it with you? I mean, I can say doing a podcast is so more easy with a partner versus solo. I mean, I know I'm doing a solo episode right now, but like as a whole, like starting a business, sometimes it's having, even if it's not like a business partner, but like just a community. Like it's why we have group chats. Like I have plenty of group chats with author friends, or like we do writing calls for accountability. Like you loop other people into your dreams so that you can all uplift and support each other and share an experience and being able to give advice and just like feel for each other when it's hard because the only other people who are truly, truly going to get it are the people doing the same thing. Um, so yeah, it's just like that's why we have communities in our spaces where we're pursuing these things. Um, Group chats, mentors, all the things. So I think like for me, what I've been doing, I know I mentioned this earlier, but like I've been just trying to question myself, like, why am I holding dreams back? Like there's so many reasons, and I know I got into what I think could be mine earlier, but do you think it's silly? Like, do you think it's a silly dream? Do you are you just scared to disturb peace? Like I said, like maybe your dream would cause you to need to like change a lot of things about your life. So you don't want to disturb that peace and stay in that safety net, but also question like the pros, the cons, what's the vision? What would life be like if I was doing this? Like, how much more is it hurting you to push it down than let it out? And that is my homework for my secret dreamers. Um, just really start asking yourself the tough questions and figuring out like what you need to do to be more vocal and start pursuing what you want and figure out maybe how to stop caring what other people think or how they're going to perceive you based on what your dream is. And like the people in your life, what are they going to think? And all that stuff. So that is what I have to say about dreaming out loud. I feel like once you start dreaming out loud and being vocal, like I don't think things necessarily get easier from there because a lot of times it's brings on change and a lot of hard things and obstacles, but I think it is freeing in a sense to be outspoken and set yourself up to start going after this thing you really want. Um, I think it will do wonders for your like mental health, being like, yes, I'm so excited to be doing this thing I've always wanted. And it'll be freeing in a way because I think when you open up the space for something new, sometimes you close doors on things that aren't meant for you anymore. And that's a very, very beautiful part of life. And it can only happen when you let other people in and just really, I don't know, don't feel like you have to walk through life alone, you know? So that is my wisdom for you today. And I didn't talk about what I was drinking at the beginning because I actually only have water and I did not drink a single drop that whole time I was recording. So I am going to go drink some water. And if you haven't been hydrating, go get some too. And I hope you love this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And I can't wait to chat with you again in the next episode. Bye.